Hello, here's the Tarot Snapshot for Sunday, February 18th. Now, let's talk a little bit before we get into the tarot cards about intuition. For me, intuition is our connection to our spirits, our beloved dead, and our ancestors. Humans have essentially two parts to their consciousness. They're going to have an emotional, intuitive part. They're going to have an intellectual, rational part. For me, the language of spirit is feeling. So when spirit is in contact with us, we're going to feel a thing. We're going to have a sensation or an impression. It takes about a half a second to a second before our monkey mind kicks in and translates it in our own voice. So oftentimes we'll know that we have intuition because we don't listen to it. We get to the other side of a situation or a person and we're like, God damn it, I wish I'd listened to myself. I wish I'd heard that or more clearly. The reason that I bring this up is because everybody is connected to their beloved dead and their ancestors, the spirits that want the best for them. And that's why we have intuition. That is the spiritual language that we have to get through this world in a better, healthier way. I also bring that up because as I picked up this deck of tarot cards, I knew that I had to shuffle 11 times to get the cards to where they needed to be. And I didn't want to sit on video here to shuffle 11 times to get the cards to where they need to be. The first card that is right on top of this deck that I select for the Tarot Snapshot shows us who we are in this moment. The next card shows us what vexes and perplexes us. The next card shows us what heals and reveals. So let's get into the first card. The first card this week that represents us, you and I, all of us together, is this. Ooh, the moon. The moon card. Okay. To me, this is the card of the werewolf. If you think of the classic idea of the werewolf, being under the influence, this is sort of a darker card in tarot. This is a card of psychic abilities and emotions, absolutely. But there's a deeper meaning to this card. For me, in my experience, when this card comes up, this means that we are under the influence of something. Most often, emotional junk. Garbage, life, what have you. This could actually be drugs or alcohol. This could be trauma and pain. This could be under the influence of another person's influence. This is a card that invites you to see yourself made up of different pieces. The influences, the conditionings, the programmings that life and culture and trauma will bring to you. That everybody is a really messed up algebra equation, how we're the sum of our parts, we're the product of everything that comes into us, makes us up. This card is indicating that there's something out there that's coming into your sphere, coming into your life, coming into you that isn't yours, but it's affecting you and you're under the influence of it. If you're feeling weak, vulnerable, if you're feeling inadequate, don't place the blame on you. Place the blame on the variable, the influence that's coming into your equation, coming into your sphere, that's causing you to feel those things. Pointing the finger back at ourselves is never going to help. Holding us accountable, sure, we can be responsible for our behaviors and our actions, but when we feel guilty because trauma happened to us, that's so unfair, and that certainly will not lead us to healing. So we're all the werewolf this week. Let's take a look at what vexes and perplexes us. Death. So we have another major card here. Transformation. So this isn't literal death. This is transformation. I like to think of this card as the caterpillar that becomes the butterfly. That's a painful and traumatic process. Absolutely. But I can see how this vexes and perplexes us because we're always seeking to become the better, brighter, healthier version of ourselves. And sometimes that's a challenge. Sometimes it's difficult based on the weight that we're carrying to become that better, brighter, healthier version of ourselves. We'll never become that version of ourselves if we keep pointing the finger back at the person who's trying to transform. And as I'm saying this, I also want to take into consideration that I started this video talking about intuition, and I got the card of a very intuitive nature here. So we're the moon, under the influence of things, psychic in all our own ways that we have this connection to intuition. The deeper we can lean into that intuitive connection, the faster, easier we'll have that transformation. So that's the death card. Transformation can vex and perplex us. Absolutely. Let's take a look at the card that heals and reveals, our medicine for this. Let's see if it's another major card, because we have 2 major cards in the Moon and Death. Ha! All right, a little bit of a coincidence here today. So every morning, I have what I call my daily devotionals, where I place a cup of coffee and some maple syrup up on my altar for my ancestors. I give thanks, I offer prayers, I set intention for the day. Part of that practice is also pulling a tarot card, because here's how I develop a relationship with the tarot cards. I'll pull a card in the morning asking how my day is going to go, the lesson that I should have for my day, and then I go back to it and journal about it. I let the day progress. This is my card for today, the King of Cups. King of Cups, to me, is Gomez Addams. If you're familiar with the Addams family, Gomez Addams is the one who is dedicated to love and knows that love is the greatest reason why we're here. With that being said, sometimes the waves can get a little rocky. You see those waves behind the king. He's stable. He's on that solid platform. This is the King of Love. And this is somebody who's absolutely mature in their own emotional responses. We can't control the emotions that happen to us. I have tried for many years to, control the emotional reactions that I have. And we can't. We can't. Emotions happen. That's the nature of them. And as much as they are teachers, as much as they are motivators, the emotions that we have, they're sort of happening by themselves. We can, however, control what we learn from those emotions and the lessons that we take away from them, the understanding where they want to bring us and what they're motivating us toward. We can also control how we act. This person right here is in control of those emotional responses. So we started out by talking about being under the influence of emotions or other influences in our life. Finding it difficult to transform, finding it difficult to become that different, healthier, better version of ourselves. And the advice that tarot gives us is King of Cups, that there is a great degree of value in learning from the emotions, even the negative ones. Even anger can be a great tool. Anger can be a wonderful teacher in terms of sometimes we have to get angry at the things that are holding us back or the people in our world. We don't act out in anger, but anger is a response. Anger is happening to us because it's teaching us something. So as it teaches us this thing, what is it bringing us toward or away from? And understanding how to manage our emotions will give us the best life. The cups do talk about emotions. They are feelings and emotions. And I know about feelings and emotions because I experience them. I also know that the cups in tarot teach us that every emotion that we have is either a poison or a medicine. Even anger. You've ever heard the term toxic positivity? That's too much positivity. Too much happiness. Look on the bright side. Don't feel angry. There are too many new age hacks out there that think that's the solution. And it's not, because that disregards part of our humanity. So with that being said, you're going to be under the influence, sure, but you're not a werewolf. A werewolf is out of control. They can't help themselves. You're human. You have so much control that you can bring over your emotional responses. So I want you to think about that. I want you to think about the library of emotions that you have access to as a human and how those emotions can help or hinder. Help or hinder. You can also control how you act in response to those emotions. Can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond to it. And that's how we have the best life. So thank you for this very much, for being here on this page, on this YouTube page, TikTok, wherever you're finding this. I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate the opportunity to bring the wisdom of tarot to you every week. So thank you very much. Make it a great week. Be well, and mind those influences.